Alright, what's up, good people? This is Georgia Line of Connection. I'm making another video. American Indian communities on the Savannah River and surrounding areas. Hashtag CSRA. That's Central Savannah River area. Most of these places is probably tore down and been repurposed. I'm gonna break down a few on the ones I be seeing. Which a lot of it is still there. They ain't nothing but put paint on it. Probably added some stuff to it, took a little bit off of it. But anyway, I'm gonna go into this book that I always like reading. This is a long book, but I'm just gonna read this one little passage out of it. This comes out of the book Memorial History of Augusta, Georgia, from its settlement in 1735 to the close of the 18th century. And a lot of stuff was going on way before then, but it's just one part that really stick out. And this right here, this page right here, they're talking about Indian War about to break out. Let me read this one little part. I have, as in duty bound, sent you the enclosed information by which, in all appearances, an Indian war is inevitable. There is nothing in all human probability can prevent it, but having those people who did the injury to make a retaliation for the murdered Indians, and we have accordingly issued hue and cry and sent out parties to apprehend them, and we have alarmed all the country, both on the Carolina and Georgia side. The headmen of the Chickasaws are now with me. They declare they will live and die with the white people, provided we give them a place for their wives and children. The fort is too small, neither is it in a condition to hold the people of this place. So I think it would be better to have one or two fortifications or entrenchments as near the fort as possible, where the women and children may be secured while we scout out and fight the enemy. Now, just from reading that part right there, it make a lot of sense of what's going on. Because as I always reiterate on who's a white person, you got to make sense of who that is. I just share the whole screen with you just to show you what's really going on. That's what makes me excited. That's how you peak game. Now, free white persons. This is amended. It's from 1870 is when they amended it, but it's coming from the 1790 Act of Naturalization, right? All right. So it's a law of the United States Congress that set the uniform rules for the granting of United States citizenship by naturalization. Now, the law limited naturalization to free white persons of good character, thus excluding American Indians, indentured servants, enslaved people, free black people, and later Asians. All right. Now, this eliminated ambiguity on how to treat newcomers, given that free black people had been allowed citizenship at the state level in many states. Wow. So they saying black people had more respect than any of the other new people coming because they was already locked in with the state. All right. In reading the Naturalization Act, the courts also associated whiteness with Christianity and thus excluding Muslim immigrants from citizenship until 1944, supposedly, and is modeled after the Plantation Act of 1740 of the British Parliament, which is an act for naturalizing such foreign Protestants and others therein mentioned as are settled on or shall settle in any of His Majesty's colonies in America. Now, you got to peep game with this. And what it say? Use its provisions concerning time, oath of allegiance, the process of swearing before a judge, etc. All right, so there's a 2-year requirement, right? Okay, so they give you 2 years. Now, who are all of these people? Because this was the Act of 1790. Let me give you this. This the Jacobites that were being shipped here and transported. You got the black swarthy. His name what? James Nielsen. Last name Robertson. Brown Scrape. Yeah. Daniel Ross, servant. Sandy Hare. Will Robertson. Brown Well-Made. John Stewart. Ruddy. All of them brown and well-made. It got ditto after it. That's how the gangs come in. So these people still considered Christian. They ain't that Protestant Christian, but they Christian. But the Jacobites was Catholic. All right. Now, let me see what we're going to now. We got a long way to go. Just so people can understand, when they say white, they're not considering a skin color and all that stuff. You got one dude with a pale face down here named Adam Sutherland. And most of these people, what, 26, 19, 40, 17, 18, 21, 18, 1. Daniel McGill is 12 years old. He ain't even got no profession. Most of these people goldsmiths, laborers. What else we got? Sewing, knits. Oh, then the women. Isabel Hamilton, she 50. She brown and little. All right. So we pretty much got an understanding of. There go John Stewart. You probably know who he's some kin to. That's Stewart dynasty out of Scotland and England and Ireland. Because the Irish and the Scottish people is closely connected. So never lose sight of that. You're going to figure out how these last names is popping up and everything. 9. Colonial slave ships. Between 1650 and 1775, many thousands of Scots were banished to the American colonies for political, religious, or criminal offenses. Okay. In fact, make it bigger just in case you want to read it on your phone. That's what mostly everybody do anyway. Following the English Civil War, Cromwell transported thousands of Scotch soldiers to Virginia, New England, and the West Indies. Now, the West Indies is considered Barbados, where they say majority of these people came to South Carolina and Virginia and Georgia and all that. So that's where you get that supposedly African stuff. Because Africa ain't nothing but a part of the Roman Catholic faith. An additional 1,700 Scots were expelled as enemies of the state after the Covenanter risings, and 1,600 men, women, and children were banished as a result of the Jacobite rebellions of 1715 and 1745. So that's a war been going on for the longest. Yeah. This is in what? The Lost Creek settlement. All of it is just basic internet stuff. Then you go here to slavery, white, a study of runaway servants in 18th century Virginia, a thesis by Tamia K. Haygood. Okay. Now, we're at page 24, chapter 1, Life Before Flight. Between the 17th and 18th centuries, most indentured servants lived proscribed lives. This explains why many servants protested with their feet. Know what that means? Prior to James Rebel's transportation to Virginia, indentured servants were considered semi-free and therefore simple chattel.